All right, all right, all right. Welcome everyone, or should I say back? You know, this is we're coming around like the horse racing. We're coming around the bend, coming down to the home stretch. This is hour 4 of the virtual summit of day 1. Marriage Built 3-day virtual summit with you all, coming down the home stretch, and you know, during this time, we're going to have, we might have had already about 7 or 8 speakers. We're going to have, through the whole 3 days, over 20 speakers. You know, we're going to give you entertainment. We're going to have free gifts and giveaways. This is something you don't want to miss. So we like to welcome you to day 1 of Marriage Built to Last 3-day virtual summit, the construction zone. We always talk about the construction zone. When you see people doing construction in a construction zone, what are they doing? They're building something or repairing something. So that's what we're doing in this 3-day summit. We want to build. We want to help build relationships, help build marriages, even maybe build your self-esteem, because this is going to be, even if you're single, we have things for the singles. So we want to help everyone or repair something. If you have a little, we know this pandemic, you know, you're probably spending time with your mate more than you ever have. Yes. And little issues can become bigger issues. And bigger issues can be blown up. So we want to help you overcome that, repair it. Or if you have just a little bit more in, it could be communication, it could be finances, it could be intimacy. That's what this is all about. So we always like to say, baby, who is this for? It's for somebody who maybe wants a little bit more in your relationship. Like I said, you know, you feel, or you want to go to that next level. You want to take your relationship higher. It's for couples struggling, you know, and just can't seem to figure it out. Well, we want to help in this construction figure it out. Build better communication. Build whatever is bothering you, you know, or repair it. Because we know if you were dating and now you're married, everything was good in the beginning. Now some things may not be as good as it was in the beginning. So we want to help you repair that. We want to get you back to that. Or if you just want to change some things, because we know everyone grows, everyone evolves. So some things need to change. And maybe you're not changing with the times, with that evolution of yourself. So maybe you need that. Then this is for you. Or if you just want to keep it fresh, keep it hot, keep it sexy, keep it moving, keep it growing. No, come on, somebody. You know, this is for you.
Yes, you guys. So we are super excited to have us here. There's something that we want you to do right now. We want you to look down on your screen and hit the share button.
Come on.
Look down below on your computer, where that's from, hit the share button, because you never know who is out there that needs somebody.
Right. So during this 3 days, we're your hosts and we'll be with you all weekend long. As always, I am the man, your boy, your friend. No, let me stop. I'm Jamie.
And I'm Cynthia Green, and we're the founders of Marriage Built to Last and the host of this 3-day virtual conference. And we are
America's Faithful. Come on now.
Yes, we are super excited about everything that's been trying. It's been a lot. It's been fun. It's been really good. It's been enlightening. It's been thrilling. It's been sexy.
Come on.
I mean, it's been tough. Like, you know, when you're stuff that like you know you're guilty of, like you're like, oh my gosh, they just pricked me underfoot, you know. So you're like wondering, saying to yourself, I've got to get it together. But you know, been phenomenal. This is, like James said, our session of today. We're at the 7 o'clock hour. We're going to be back again at 9 o'clock. But we've got some wonderful, wonderful, wonderful things in store for you tonight. And so we just want you to make sure, you relax. You got your boo with you. You guys are ready.
And it seems like as these hours go, it just gets better and better, doesn't it? And that's the thing everybody, I'm sorry, that spoke so far has been bringing their A game. And we know that the speakers on during this hour are also going to bring their A game, because they're going to be dropping some nuggets on you to help you, to help you get to maybe where you want to be. And that's the key about every speaker that's been on so far. It seems like they said something that maybe everyone needs. And like we say, oh, they're all up in my business. They're hitting home, and that's what we do. So I'm not one who so I'm taking notes to make sure that me and Cynthia, that our relationship stays fresh, stays hot. So especially when that the second we had Gail Crowder on, and she was talking about sex. Come on, how many of you know that is the key? Then we had Police. He was talking about communication, and that was the key, because trust me, you can always a little bit more, because if you're at a high level in your relationship, don't you always want to stay there? It's like to say, if you're the champions, you're going to be the champions. It's going to knock you off. You got to be the champions. You want to be at that high level, and that's the thing. So if you're at that high level now, don't you want to stay there? So don't you want to keep doing something like this? Because this is, during this pandemic, we're doing this for free now. That's what we do. We just want to help people. So it's not like a conference that you go to a venue. We're doing this over the live optics. We're doing this over technology. So we're making sure that you, comfort of your own home, still receive the information that you need to take your marriage, to take your relationship, maybe even take yourself to the next level.
So we have some really special guests here tonight. We have Laura Gathers and we have Stephen Bev Gerald. And we are going to bring up our very first guest, which is Miss Laura Gathers. Laura is the founder of Love Harder Marriage Coaching. She is a marriage coach, and tonight she is going to be talking about how to fight fair in your marriage. Laura, thank you so much for being a part of this event, and we are so happy to have you. Welcome to the summit.
We are.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome, and we're going to let you just take it away.
All righty. Well, good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in to this seminar. As stated, my name is Laura Gathers, and I am the founder of Love Harder Marriage Coaching. It's where I teach couples how to attack their issues and not each other. Why? Because your marriage is always worth fighting for. So let me tell you, I'm extremely excited about the topic for tonight, reconstructing and rebuilding things in your marriage. And so as I was asked to speak about this briefly, I wanted to share just some ideas before I get into how to fight fair. I want to briefly share just a few ideas I had when it comes to building something. I love the point that they made that in a marriage, you're building something or you're repairing something. So I just want to give you some tools on how to build a good foundation. And then once you have that strong foundation, what to do when conflict arises. The first one is you need a blueprint. So what is going to be your blueprint for your marriage? What is it that you want to accomplish in your marriage? What is it that you desire to leave as a legacy on behalf of your marriage? Once you understand what your blueprint is, you can often find that in your marriage vision statement or your marital mission statement, understanding why are we coming together? What is it that we want to accomplish as a couple? That's your blueprint. That is what you use to help build the relationship that you want. And now, once you know what it is that you want to build, then you lay that foundation. What does God's word say about this? How can we be sure that we are not building it off of our false expectations, but we're building it off of the word of God? Because that is the only thing that will not fall and will not crumble. So we have the blueprint. We have an understanding of what it is that we think we're supposed to accomplish as a couple. Now let's lay that foundation. Let's lay down God's word. Let's get an understanding of what it looks like from God's perspective to build this thing. Once you have built that foundation or laid that foundation, then you build the house. You take the time and you obey the word and you build the house accordingly. The one thing that I learned when I watched my dad get his house was after you build your house, there's about a year in and the house settles. And then once the house settles, you begin to see cracks and things that you need to repair. And so that's the same thing in marriage. Once you have built that house and that house settles and you've been together for a little while, maybe a year or so, you're starting to look and say, okay, we laid a good foundation, but I'm starting to see some cracks and some crumbles. Let's go ahead and begin to repair those things. So you start figuring out what needs to be touched up. Did I get a full understanding of what it means when it says this in the word of God? Do we have a full understanding of what it looks like to be a good steward over our finances, or the two becoming one? Do we think that we're just dressing the same, or that we have to think the same? No, you think together. You do the things that are going to help you build that marriage together. So you're going from that single mindset to that couple's mindset. And so now the house has settled, right? The house is all settled. You're touching it up. You're seeing where you need to grow as an individual, where you need to grow as a couple. And then you make sure you get that homeowner's insurance. Why? Because things break, things crumble, and you want to make sure that your marriage is protected. So you get that homeowner's insurance and you go ahead and you're like, okay, how are we going to maintain our marriage? What are we going to do to ensure that if things do start to go left, we can get back on track? So having that marriage insurance, what is your marriage maintenance plan? What books are you going to read together? What conferences are you going to attend together? What individual work are you going to do to ensure that your spouse is getting the best out of you? And what summits like this one, what summits and workshops are we going to invest in to ensure that our marriage, you hear that word, ensure, to ensure that our marriage is protected? That homeowner's insurance is so valuable to your home, because if something breaks, then you have that insurance to help you get it repaired. And the same thing is true in your marriage. If something breaks, you need that marital insurance. You need that marital maintenance to ensure that you are protecting your marriage. And lastly, once you've built a house and you've laid the foundation and now the house is settled and you've painted and you made sure that you have your warranties and your insurance and everything that your marriage needs, you start to look at your community. And community is very important. And in marriage, community is going to represent your accountability. Who do you have around you to ensure that you are being accountable to the vows that you stated? Who do you have around you that can check you and who can bring you back into alignment with the mission and the vision and the goals that you have for your marriage when things start to go south? Accountability is important. Your marriage community is vital to the success of your marriage. All right. And then after that, you need to know that conflict is going to come. One of the biggest things that I wish to tell people who get married is conflict is going to happen in your marriage. Don't think that because you're having conflict that something is wrong. Nothing is wrong. It's just a part of life. In any relationship that you have, whether it's with your parents, with your siblings, with your coworkers, with your friends, conflicts are going to arise. But it is how we handle those conflicts that determines whether that relationship continues on or not. And so I've just given you all these things on how to build this foundation and how to build this marriage. But now what I want to talk to you about is how to deal with that conflict that will rise up in your marriage. And so that's the whole topic, how to fight fair in your marriage. So first I want to say this: you handle your marital issues. Hear me loud and hear me clear. Handle your marital issues like you're in a boxing ring, not a street fight. In street fights, there are no rules. There are no referees. There are no judges. You just do, say, respond any way that you want to. But in a boxing ring, there is structure. There are rules. There are guidelines. And that is vital to your marriage. These are things that you need to talk about. Honey, how do you deal with conflict? Do you avoid it or do you approach it head on? Like knowing those things about your spouse, because why? When conflict arises, you want to attack the issue, not your spouse. I'm going to say that again. When conflict arises in your marriage, you want to attack the issue, not your spouse. Why? Because you're not going to come forth with any solutions if you're attacking the person, if you're constantly attacking what they done, and you're not addressing how what they done affected you. You want to address, okay, if they're spending all of the money and causing overdrafts in your account, that's the issue. You don't want to call them irresponsible and all these other things, though their actions may be irresponsible. You want to say, okay, honey, the issue is we have an overdraft. How do we ensure that this does not happen again? So that's how you attack the issue and not the person. The next thing you want to do is don't hit below the belt. Don't say words that are going to hurt your spouse. Know those words that are going to cut them, because our words should be used in marriage specifically and in any relationship to build up the person that we are in relationship with, not to tear them down. And it's this simple. If you don't have anything nice to say, go to your corner. Go to your boxing corner, get rehydrated, gather your thoughts, and figure out how to approach this issue in a way that is going to build up your spouse, that is going to attack the issue and not them. Okay? I hope that you all are getting this. The next one is put on your love gloves. Why? Because love is patient, love is kind, and that is very important. It does not think evil about the person. Love does not do that. Love forgives. And so when you put on your love gloves to attack the issue, what you're saying is, okay, maybe you do have poor spending habits. So I know it's going to take a while for us to be able to help or transform your thoughts about how money should be handled. So I'm going to be patient with you. I understand that maybe you never had an opportunity to identify what your purpose is. So you know what? That may be the root issue to why you can't keep a job. So instead of me attacking the fact that I'm tired of you getting fired or quitting your job, I'm going to say, okay, maybe I need to be patient with you and help you understand what it is that you've been called to do, to call out your giftings, to call out the things that I see that God has placed in you that might lead you down the path that God has for you. Okay. And then we're going to next round, call in a referee if need be. We're going to call in someone if we are constantly facing the same issues. If we see this cyclical behavior where we're constantly having to address the same things, then guess what we're going to do? We're going to call in someone to help us. I'll go back to that example I used in regards to someone constantly losing their job. So maybe counseling is not what that person needs. Maybe that person needs a career coach. Maybe that person needs to take some type of testing to help them understand what their gifts are. Maybe they need to go to college. Maybe they need to get a trade. Maybe that will be the solution. Them understanding who they are and what their giftings are could really help solve that issue. So you want to call in a referee that is going to help you solve the issue. If that person, if your spouse or you or your spouse are poor at handling money, then the person that you might want to call in is a financial manager. So finding the person that's going to help you resolve that issue. That's the person that you want to call in to your marriage to help you. That's the referee that you need. So what is a referee? It's someone that you trust, someone that you can be vulnerable with, someone that both you and your spouse feel comfortable working with. See, a referee isn't there to say who's right or who's wrong. A referee is there to ensure that the rules are followed. So you share with them what you're trying to accomplish. You share with them the end result that you want to see, and their whole goal is to ensure that that is what happens, and they guide you along the way. All right. And then the last thing that I want to tell you in regards to how to fight fair in your marriage is to endure the rounds. You know, a lot of times we hear, especially in marriage, well, do what makes you happy. Everything that you do in life doesn't make you happy. Waking up to go to work doesn't make you happy all the time. having to cook or wash dishes or clean your house or go do something that you just really don't like to do. Everything in life doesn't make you happy, and neither is everything in your marriage going to make you happy. And that's why you have to endure the rounds. You have to understand that this is just a temporary season in our marriage. And this is something that we can get through. We should be striving, especially if we are Christians, we should be striving to hear, well done, not you won. We don't want our spouse to always feel like they're losing these battles, that you're going to always have things your way. We want to hear, well done, not you won. Why? Because at the end of the day, we do have judges, and it's the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. And our goal should be to glorify them. Our goal should be to make sure that they are seen throughout our marriage. And when we do that, then we are fighting fair. When we can say that the words of our mouth and the meditation of our hearts are pleasing unto God, then we have done what He's called us to do. And that is what marriage is all about. Marriage is all about building that very strong foundation. It is about making sure that we are touching up things. We have our marital maintenance plan in order. We have our insurance plan. And then when we handle conflict, we're handling it in a way that brings God glory. Does that mean that we're not going to get upset, that we're not going to get frustrated? No, those emotions will arise, but we do not allow them to determine how we respond. Now, if we do, then we repent and we get right back into the position that God has for us. So, just a quick recap. If you face marital conflict, you want to handle it how? Like you're in a what? A boxing ring, not a street fight. Establish some ground rules. We are not going to do this. We're going to make sure that within 24, 48 hours, we address this issue. We're not going to run away from it. So establish those ground rules and obey them. And then we want to make sure that we're not hitting below the belt. If we need to take a timeout, if we need to go to our corner, then we're going to go to our corner, and we're going to regroup, and we're going to regather our thoughts and reapproach that situation. And then we're going to put on our love gloves. We're going to make sure that we're being patient with our spouse and ourselves. We're going to make sure that we're kind, that we're not saying things that are wrong, that we're quick to forgive. That's what we're going to do. And then we're going to call in a referee if we're constantly facing cyclical issues, if we're constantly trying to fix something and it seems like we're constantly having to readdress it, then we need to call in someone that's going to help us get past that. And last but not least, we're going to endure the rounds. We're not going to give up as soon as we face hardship in our marriage. We are going to say, we are going to fight the good fight of faith, and we are going to do the work that needs to be done so that we can hear well done. Why? Because we are leaving a legacy here on this earth. And our marriage has the opportunity to make an impact way bigger than our household. And we want to ensure that that is the mindset that we have when we approach marriage and when we approach conflict in marriage. So my name, once again, is Laura Gathers, and you can follow me on Instagram at Love Harder Marriage Coaching, Facebook at Love Harder Marriage Coaching. And for you all tonight, or whenever you're watching this video, you can go to my website, lauragathers.com, and click on free resource. If you enter in your email address to get on my mailing list, you will get a free marital mission statement template. That document is very crucial. And I hope what you do with that template is you type up what your marriage mission statement is and you hang it up in your house and you remind yourself that your marriage is bigger than you. Your marriage serves a greater purpose than just you and your spouse, because we have the opportunity through our marriage to reflect the love of Jesus Christ to this world. And that's what we want to make sure that we do. Thank you all for tuning in. I hope that you gathered together some great nuggets that you can go and apply to your marriage.
Sorry. Oops. Sorry. That was some yummy, yummy,
Yes,
yummy
that
stuff,
was
Laura.
Thank you.
James and I, we were sitting here smiling because every year in June we have our annual conference called Couples Fest. and this year's theme is creating a blueprint for your marriage. So because of COVID, we had to move it to September. So we're praying and hoping and believing we can still hold it in September. But a lot of the things you're talking about building a house is some of the steps that we're taking the couples through. They're going to build them a house while at the conference. They're going to have literally have a piece of paper that looks like the blueprint of a house and all the rooms in it. And they're going to have to go to different stations, different speakers, and get tools
to build
for each
that
room
house.
so they can build
that is awesome. That is awesome.
Also, in January, we always do workshops for a vision board, you know, not just cutting out pictures, but being specific. And we help couples create a vision and a mission statement. So that was excellent what you said.
We're on the same page. So that was really, really good. I loved all the pieces you had. And we were sitting here talking. I was telling James, I said, before we were married, James has bought a house before, and I bought a house before, but they were already built. But together, we had this home we're in now built, and we're having another home built now. So together we built 2 homes. So all those steps you were talking about, we're like, yeah, okay, yeah, we did that.
But for me, I love how you related the marriage to the boxing. Come on now, sports. If that doesn't go there, man, I don't know what does. And that was awesome how you related that.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, so we want you to stay with us. We're going to bring on the next couple, the next speakers. So we're going to bring you back in the end and have a more dialogue.
All right, I'll be right here. Thank you.
Oh yeah, this
so
is
good evening, everyone. We want you to know that we are bringing on the Steve and Bev Gerald of Unique Marriages, and we are going to let them just take it away because they got something special for y'all.
Yes,
they got something special. So watch this skit they're getting ready to do.
Oh yeah, this is what I'm talking about. A little bit of alone time with me and my gang, and oh yeah, work hard. This is it. This is what I'm talking. Oh no, interception!
Hey babe, you didn't wake me up. You just came down here to your man cave.
It's Sunday. On Sunday, I watch football in my man cave.
What's your plans for today, babe?
My plans are what my plans are every Sunday. I come to my man cave and I watch football and I eat wings and I drink some soda, eat some chips. That's how I eat wings and I watch football.
Steve, you need to clean this place up. This place is ridiculous, man. You're gonna be here all day watching football?
This is my place. It's my cave. And I do what I do in my cave.
You know what?
What?
I made a list of things. While you're gonna be wasting time watching football, I made a list of things that I need you to take care of.
Yada,
today.
yada, yada.
There's a leak in the kitchen sink, Steve.
I'm listening.
I need you to wash my car. And you need to change the battery. See, you need to change the battery in the smoke detector.
Okay.
And the ice maker, oh my goodness, it's making a weird sound.
Wait, okay. Hold up. Now, as far as that leak goes under the sink, it's Sunday. I'm busy. Put a bowl under that leak. As far as the chirping going in the smoke detector, we don't have to worry about no fire. As a matter of fact, I don't hear it. You said something about the ice maker.
Yes.
You have bad gums. I have bad gums. We don't drink nothing cold.
Oh my
so I
goodness.
don't have to worry about the ice maker.
Oh my goodness, you gotta stop that.
So good.
I have good dental insurance. And I make sure
game.
that I go get my dental appointments. I clean it twice a
Where's the
year.
volume?
You know what?
Where's the volume?
This is too much.
I'm watching good. Bye. Bye. Now I can have some peace. All right. This is
Steve, Your clothes are dirty.
My clothes.
You need to wash them.
Don't you wash both?
You need to wash these clothes. They're dirty.
Yada, yada.
I'm getting ready to go, and I'm getting ready to run some errands. And when I come back,
I'm
clean this place up, man, and wash those clothes. And when I get back, I will have another conversation.
I'm not one of your kids. Get on out of here. Good. Now I can have some peace, watch the game, and just.
Steve! Oh my goodness, I've been gone for like 4 hours. And you're at the same place you were when I left.
That's because the TV is in the same place it was when you left.
I can't believe it. I went shopping.
Hey!
I had an amazing time shopping.
Where's my wings? You didn't give me no wings?
You worried about some wings, man? I had a good time. I went to Bloomingdale's. They had a great sale. I went to Macy's, and I even went to the Apple. You gotta see me.
Whoa.
Oh, no, we're going to the pool this summer, baby.
Whoa.
I found something that you would like.
None of that's my size.
I know, but you will like it on your screen.
Wait. Hold up. How much did all that stuff cost?
Not that much. I saved $90. I had some coupons and I had a gift card left from Mother's Day.
I'm missing something here. How can you save $90 when you spent money? That's not saving, you spent money.
You don't understand the logic because you don't shop. And you know what? It was my money. I work every day. And so I can go to the mall and buy whatever I want to buy.
Okay.
Because that makes me happy. And you know I love to shop. I
thought I made you happy. Didn't I used to make you happy?
You still make me happy.
But I'll tell you what, that's it. I got a list of things I want to talk to you about.
A list?
You had a list.
No.
I've been making up a list too.
Hey, dude. Listen. We haven't seen the kids all week.
Let's talk about my list.
No, wait. But let's go see the kids.
No. We don't talk about my list.
After we see the kids.
We're talking about my list.
What in the world?
You don't raise the toilet after you use it.
You trying to
Not enough sex.
Oh!
You move my stuff.
Can you believe this, dude?
You complain too much.
Oh my God.
Not enough sex.
You've been watching too many YouTube channels.
You come into my cave too often.
I'm not going to take this. I'm in a great
place. You sleep on my side of the bed.
Oh my God.
Not enough sex.
I can't do it.
You need to stop buying me plaid shirts.
Plaid look good on you. Make you look intelligent. I'm gone.
Stop making me watch Tyler Perry movies. You need to stop making lists. That's it. Now, back to the game. Volume up. All right. This is a good game. Game number 3. Oh. Who's this? Fairfax Hospital. Hello?
Yes, Mr. Gerald. We believe your wife's name is Bevelyn?
Yes, Bevelyn Gerald. Yes, that's my wife. Why are you calling me?
We need you to come to the hospital as soon as possible.
The hospital? What happened? What's going on?
We need you to come in person as soon as possible.
No, Lord. No.
Thank God I'm so
We we have marriage couples counseling that we perform, and what you saw was a conglomeration of things that come from several years of marriage counseling. And you find that oftentimes what happens is we'll find little things like watching football, not watching football, or shopping, actually grow to be major things and cause, as the previous speaker said, there's a lot of arguments that take place because we really don't get to the root of the problem. And all of those little things are like little chinks that just keep working and working and working. You have to remember that the Grand Canyon was started by a small stream of water. And after years of erosion, the Grand Canyon was created.
Yeah, it's shots are fired. And a lot of times the shots are fired with him below the belt. We're bringing his mom, or he's bringing my mom into the conversation. And we need to learn how to communicate the problem without attacking the issue. Men don't change. Women, we change constantly. So what we've done is we've taken a lot of the counseling sessions and our experience with being married for a few decades, and we wrote a book called Lust, L-U-S-T. Put the love, the sex, the unity back into your marriage.
We recommend that you put lust in your marriage. Love, unity, sex, and trust. And one of the things that, as Dale was saying, women tend to think that they can tweak a man to perfect him. But men, they can marry a woman, the woman won't change. But truth of the matter is, a man will not change. If he likes blue, that's his favorite color, blue will continue to be his favorite color. And with sisters, God bless you, you're changing all the time. And it's up to us brothers to be aware that you're changing and be willing to adapt. Now, we define lust as love. The first L, lust, is actually an acronym. And the L in lust stands for love. And not just any love, but agape love. That's the agape kind of love that God and Christ has for us.
And the U is for unity. You have to be on one accord. Amos 3:3 say, how can two walk together unless they agree? So you have to have unity.
And see, unity is the state of oneness, the state of oneness in mind, and not just in mind, but in action. And I'm a military man, and there was things that we did, we have to walk in cadence. And so cadence means that you're stepping out on the cue, you're walking on the cue, you turn to the left on certain cue, and marriage is the same way. It comes to communication, knowing what your spouse thinks. And that's why oftentimes for those of us that have been married for a while, you have one spouse will start the sentence, and the other spouse will end the sentence. And that's because of the state of oneness in mind and action.
And sex.
Say that again.
Sex is vitally important.
That's the S in lust, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. It's vitally important in marriage. And it doesn't just start in the bedroom.
Sex, well, for you brothers that are listening, sex started in the morning. If you notice our skit, Bev came down, Reverend Bev came down, and she was upset because I came downstairs without giving her a morning kiss. I came downstairs without telling her that I loved her that morning. And so we're here to tell you that if you want good sex in the evening, it starts with a morning kiss and a recognition of who you married. Amen.
And the last letter is trust. You got to develop that trust, which means you have to invest. Let me say it again. You have to invest in your marriage every day. It's a daily investment because you can't make withdrawals if you have not made deposits. So trust is vitally important to a successful marriage.
And you maintain trust by understanding that there's boundaries that you can't cross. Each of us have secrets, and when you really love someone, you share those secrets with your spouse. And so in the course of arguments, you have to make sure that they can trust you with their secrets and that you don't use their secrets against them. And So with that, we want you to know we'll close with scripture. Everyone should be quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to get angry.
And we invite you to go to our website, www.uniquemarriage.com, and go to our contact page. We have a free gift for you. So all you have to do is go and fill out the contact page and request the free gift, and we'll be more than happy to share it with you. God bless.
What's the website?
Sorry, that's me. That was good, you guys. I mean, y'all were it's that's so real, you know. You could barely tell y'all were acting, you know. Bev came in and she was fired up. And I get over a toilet.
I've never seen that side of her before.
Huh?
I've never seen that side of her before.
He's been making a deal for a while, but it's supposed to be unconditional. He's not supposed to be keeping no list.
I know. I couldn't believe that he had
and when you start giving you these paper towels, man, it's wasting things. I have to recycle these paper towels.
So Bev, that means when he was down there in his man cave, you see what he was doing, right? He was making a list of all the things that he was frustrated about. And I mean, sex was in there over and over and over again. I liked a couple of things y'all said at the end. You said, attack the problem, not each other. And I love when you said you can't make withdrawals if you haven't made deposits. And it makes me think of when my kids were little. I'll never forget one time they wanted something. And I told them, I'm sorry, mommy doesn't really have the money right now. And they said, well, mom, all you got to do is go to one of the machines and just get some.
I remember those conversations when our kids were smaller as well. We said, we don't have it. He said, Mom, just go to the bank. You always write checks. Just go to the bank.
Right. So I had to explain to them, if mommy doesn't work and make money and put money in there, there's none to take out. And then if mommy spends it all up, there's none to go to the bank or to the machine and get. So you're right. In your marriage, you've got to be doing something, putting something into that marriage if you want to get something out of it. If you want to see your spouse respond positively, you've got to respond positively.
Right. So let me ask a question, Charles. That skit. Tell everyone who's watching what the root cause of the problem was in that skit.
Communication was the main thing.
Okay, so since it was communication, tell everybody how you would resolve that certain issue that you portrayed in the skit. How would you resolve that?
Well, one of the things that you have to do is make sure, and the communication lady, I'm sorry, sis spoke earlier, was talking about the real questions. Let's say, well, why do you want to go to the man cave? And it's like, well, honey, I'm tired at work. The problem isn't that I need to get away from you as much as I just need to wind down from the stress of 12-hour days on the job. And if you notice, one of the things that the brother did in the skit was he went to sleep.
And
so he wasn't really interested in the game. He was interested in downtime.
Relaxing.
Other thing too is that you always have the banker and the accountant. So whoever that is that's handling the finances, you got to have those books have to be open and available to each person because they need to know exactly what's going on. So it won't be a problem if you want to go shopping because you have overflow, or you might need to wait to, whatever. But the key is the books got to be open. All the secret codes, all the passwords, he has to know where that book is and know how to get into those accounts.
And it's about unity
and trust.
Thinking alike. Okay, we need a strategy. So we're saving money because of you guys are saving money because you're buying a new home. So you need to put money aside for furniture. You need to put money aside because maybe you want a sprinkler system in your car. You have to put money aside, so you have to talk about it. So you can't have, it's not necessarily that you don't want your spouse to look good and have those nice things. It's not that you don't enjoy seeing her in those things. It's that we have a plan. And there's a budget that we have to maintain. And she was talking about the secret. Well, if there's no such thing as your money, my money, it's our money.
Right.
And even if I'm purchasing, here's what's great. When we first got married, we were like teenagers when we got married, early 20s, teenagers when we got married. And the money was really tight. And so when we came together, we had to put our money on the table. And all the money went into a pot, and we started dividing. We need this number, this amount of money to go to this bill, this amount of money to go to this bill, this amount of money to go for bus fare. And so we maintained that as adults. We both have decent jobs now. We're both doing well. Our businesses are doing well. But we still come together and talk about things that other folks would say was insignificant. And so even like none of that really happened. That her coming home with the shopping bag, she doesn't do that. She'll talk to me before she buys something. And she says, Steve, I'm about buying such and such, whatever. I'm thinking about buying such and such.
So it goes back to what Laura says too. Laura said, attack the issues, not each other. So you both had a list of concerns. Well, the couple you were representing in your skit, they had a list of concerns. They had a list of things that were bothering them, but they weren't attacking the issues. They were attacking each other, and that's why they're fighting. Laura, do you want to, give a little bit about that? How to attack the issue and not each other?
I think they did a great job just this explaining that. But like you said, the issue was lack of communication. And so you can fuss about the to-do list, you can fuss about the shopping, but the thing is, we need to learn how to communicate. He needs to be able to say, honey, I'm tired. That's the issue. He's tired. He needs downtime. And so now she won't be upset because he's down in the man cave. Why? Because she understands that he needs downtime. Now, downtime don't need to be 4 hours sleeping in the man cave, but the thing is, okay, honey, you need downtime, but just like you're at that 12 hours working and you need downtime, you're at that 12 hours working and I need you and me time. So let's divide that time into, you get 2 hours of downtime, we get 2 hours together. And that's how you attack that issue and not each other. Because, I mean, let's be honest, that does happen, at least early on in marriage. I'm still maturing.
Because on the other side, she went shopping. Well, she bought things, but what she really wanted was to spend time with me. It wasn't necessarily that she wanted to go shopping. Shopping was the fact that she was at the mall, she shopped, but really she wanted to get out with me. And she mentioned, let's go see the kids. We need to visit the kids. Now, I said, well, okay, let's go visit the kids. She probably would not have gone to the mall and spent the money, but because I wasn't with her, she didn't go to the kids because the kids would have said, where's Pops? Where's Dad?
Right.
But even with her being out, she brought back something that they could use together. Did you see that?
Right.
So she was still thinking about him.
That's key and that's important. And the other thing that I really wanted to leave with you guys as well is that we have a weekly meeting, which is a safe place, so that you can come to the meeting, to the table. Each one of us have a notepad, and you can attack anything, but you cannot attack each other. Yeah. It's problems that we have to agree to disagree with or come together on, but it's a safe place that we can come and we can discuss any issues. And if we discuss when the kids were home before they went away to college and everything, if we discussed any issues that wasn't about him or myself or our marriage, we had to pay a fine.
Yep.
And in that fine jar we went out once a month, without, unless, just ad hoc. So in that jar, we might would have $25 or whatever, because if you had to talk about anybody else at that conference that we were having,
No kids, no mom,
nobody.
no
It
mom.
was
You can't
about
talk
us.
about mommy. You know, mom, grandma.
Or
Can't talk
kids.
about the church.
Yeah.
Anything like that. To talk about each other.
And if you had to take away from the conversation, you had to pay $5 each time you brought somebody else's name into that conference.
And
Right.
that was fun because
Like, I gotta tell you what happened.
because there was times when I just started with a 20. So look, I'm putting a 20. I'm putting a 20 in the jar.
So that's good advice for newlyweds, because I'm sure you guys don't have to do that anymore. But you're right. Starting out, you gotta come up with some type of strategy, some type of plan, something to help make it work.
I have something here that says you need to come up with a marriage maintenance plan.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Come on, Lord.
Yeah, that's what
But
I love it.
I have a question for you about putting on the love glove, because it says out of the heart the mouth speaks.
Mhm.
So when a couple is saying not getting along and they may be fussing, or they have conflict, how do you get them to put on those love gloves in the middle of all that conflict that they could be having?
I think that goes back to that blueprint, like building that foundation. That's something that they have to start out doing. It's not something that you just adapt later on, because the more you do something, the more comfortable you get with it. And even with that, there are going to be moments where you're going to have to go to your corner and realize, wait a minute, I'm about to say something. But one thing I do, and I do it a lot, I do it in my head. Sometimes I say it out loud, as I say, Lord, let the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart be acceptable to you. Because if it's acceptable to God, it's going to be acceptable to my husband. And anything I wouldn't want God to be displeased about, I'm learning to keep it. Because once you say something, and I don't think people realize it, once you say it, it's said. It is said. And words can really tear down your spouse. And it takes years to build them back up, because the enemy will replay those things in their head over and over and over again. And so that's something that you should do as a foundational thing. Learn how to approach things out of love, because if not, you can tear down your marriage.
Right.
I think James' question was a really good one, because the reality is that most couples don't establish any boundaries or guidelines or blueprints,
especially in the very beginning.
In the beginning of their marriages. We counsel couples, coach couples all the time, and they've been together 10 years and they've been having the same issues for 10 years, and they don't know how to get off that wheel. They don't know how to turn things around or change it, because they've never had these deep discussions. They've never sat down at the table like the Geralds did and talk about their issues. They've never opened up their heart enough to really allow each other to trust each other's thoughts and each other's real feelings, like Dr. Buckingham was talking about earlier. The Smiths, Meet the Smiths, touched on it earlier. They've never established, and like Dr. Buckingham said, you get married based on your emotions, what you're feeling. And so once those feelings aren't there, we know those, they say them love feelings don't last, but I tell people all the time, we've been married going on 13 years and I'm still on my honeymoon. I'm still madly in love. I still got those happy emotions, and things he does not get on my nerves like they used to. But sometimes they do. See how
I love it.
But you were talking about emotions, and emotions do play a key. And there's a technique, and you guys may be familiar with it, but it's called HALT. So the technique is HALT. You never have a discussion when you're hungry, angry, lonely, or tired. And so, we're laughing about those wings. I kept bringing up those wings. The man is hungry.
I was going to say, you were hungry.
He's hungry.
You were hungry and he was angry.
Texting me, bring me some chicken wings.
And so if you're hungry, you'll say things that you won't normally say because you're hungry. And so we make light of it, but it's like, no, give that boy a sandwich before.
Right. And what was good is that Steve, you were hungry, she was angry, and you were tired.
And she was
Yeah.
lonely.
And she was lonely. So you had all of them in there at one time.
Go. So you had all four of those things as a foundation for an argument.
Right.
And
And Laura, that was good what you said about words, because sometimes you'll say things that are angry, and those words you can't take back. And they will always be in the back of your mind. So sometimes if something else comes up, you will think back to what that person said before, like, oh, he's feeling that way because he said it before. And you can even say that, baby, I'm sorry I said that, but still it's already out in the atmosphere.
Yeah.
And it's something you can't take back.
No.
can't take it back.
Can't take it back. You can
But
So
again,
that was good.
again, scripture, everyone to be quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to get angry.
Right.
We want to thank you guys so much for taking time out of your busy day to be a part of the virtual summit.
This was awesome.
This was really, really, really good. So thank you guys so much, Stephen, Bev, Gerald, and Laura Gathers.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
We would love to be with you guys. Yes, so long. So you guys stick around. We've got another round coming up tonight.
We're coming down the home stretch.
At 9 o'clock tonight, we have another round coming. We have the Scotts that will be coming. Dexter and Tanya Joyner Scotts will be up next at 9 o'clock. I don't have their topic in front of me right now, but I am just super excited about what they're going to be talking about. It's going to be so good. You guys don't want to miss it. You want to make sure that you tune back in. Y'all know 9 o'clock tonight, we're on lockdown. There's not really anything open. So you're home, turn on that laptop, turn on your cell phone, and join us at 9. And then we've got a special treat for you. We have one of the most phenomenal songsters in the world that's going to be singing for us tonight. She's one of my favorites. I love to hear her sing. She sang a song at my birthday party in December, and it just blessed me. It blessed everybody.
It blew the roof off of the place. It
blew everybody away. It was just absolutely beautiful. We also want to make sure that even though when the video is over, make sure you still hit the share button. Y'all, there's somebody who's going through these things we're talking about on these broadcasts, and they need to hear this. The other thing, too, if you missed any of the segments, don't worry about it. You can get all 15 of the tapes when this is, you can pre-order right now. I will put the link on the page. But you can pre-order all 15 of the tapes, and as soon as this summit is over, you're going to have access to all of the videos. So don't worry if you missed something already. So we'll be back at 9 o'clock, and then we're going to see you guys tomorrow too. Day 2 is going to be just as strong, just as wonderful as today was. Thank you guys so much. God bless you, and have a great night. Play.